Allow me to show you the musical instruments from Siberia that is often used in the rituals, and also offer you the smoke of the mountainous juniper from Siberia, which is also used for smudging during the shamanic rituals. Thank you. So, comrades, allow me briefly to touch upon few selected aspects of Siberian shamanism. Let us begin with answering the question, why should we talk about shamanism in the first place? So, shamanic spirituality is perhaps the most inclusive form of spirituality. Multiple forms of revelation are accepted as self-evident reality. And this spirituality entails the faith in sacred quality of nature, the directions of space, the use of the secret objects, and above all, the idea of supreme entity as primordial power and fecundity of cosmos. And due to a number of historical reasons, shamanism survived in Siberia for much longer than in other regions. Research in historico-genetic roots of Siberian shamanism reveals the fact of long time contact and interactions between various trans-Eurasian ethnocultural elements. So, if we move at the beginning of the Upper Paleolithic, ancient Siberia was a center of formation of Asian coastal Proto-Americanoid and the Asian continental cultures. And perhaps this is one of the reasons that the Native Americans and Native Siberians have much in common. Then, in the Bronze Age, came a period of mass migration of Proto-Aryan, Finno-Ugric, and East Asian tribes. And their interaction with autochthone population of Siberia has created rich mythology and sophisticated syncretic folklore, which shares common peculiarities and have striking parallels throughout Eurasia and beyond. I would define a shaman, according to Siberian tradition, as someone who belongs to a distinct social caste that at the hierarchical level is located higher than healers, fortune tellers, and other representatives of magic practice, which means that communication with spirits is not a privilege only of the shamans in a tribal society. The shaman is the one who carries out duties, including those of traveling the worlds located along so-called axis mundi, also known as the world tree, which in itself is a universal mythological archetype of the cosmic tree that unites all spheres of the universe. And these journeys are not a goal in themselves. They are a tool for healing and performing various rites and rituals. So, in the shamanic perspective, the world consists of the three-tier structure of this world tree. As a rule, the branches of the tree correspond to the sky, the trunk to the earthy world, and the roots to the underworld. Which brings us to the base of shamanic cosmology, a three-tier world of lower, middle, and upper regions. Also, there are three primary paths of becoming a shaman. The first path is hereditary path, where the power of the shaman is passed down from one generation to the next, usually from grandparent to a grandchild. Hereditary shamans are known as the most potent and powerful. The second path is known as the call, or as in ethnographic literature, it is described as shamanic illness. I emphasize, shamanic illness. In this way, individuals are chosen by the spirit themselves, often through a heavy illness. And the longer a person suffers from this illness, the more of the powerful shaman he becomes. And lastly, there is the path of personal wish, although it rarely manifests with traditional societies, particularly in Siberia. Let me remind you that the term shaman derives from the word saman, from Tungusic languages, which belong to the Manchurian family of languages. It's one of the local dialects of the Evenki people. So let us appeal to shamanic terminology, which will help us to perhaps better understand the phenomenology of Siberian shamanism. Let us turn for this to the region of Altai, where several Eurasian languages such as Uralic, Manchurian, Turkic, Mongolian originated. A key term in this terminology is Yula, the word which roughly translates as the double. And the concept of this term can only approximately be translated, but it means also soul, shadow, breath, image, and specter. There is another entity which is called Sur, which is a material hypostasis of Yalla. This is a sub-entity which is capable of inhabiting objects, stones, trees, animals, and humans. Actually, in modern languages, sur means a photographic image of a person. The other important term in the shamanic terminology is sus, which represent a kind of individual life force or energy. This source is a vital energy of the cosmic origin, which is saturated with the radiance of stars and the moons and the sun, often allegorically depicted as a golden thread coming from the sky. Very important theological principle of Siberian shamanism is the concept of tutelary spirits of the shaman. All the action of the shaman performed and all the results that he achieves are carried out by the tutelary spirits. I came across an intriguing study where the concept of shaman's relationship with their spirit delves into the realm of intimate, creating a bond that transcends the boundaries of physical world. The study suggests that this bond enhances ability to tap into higher realms, and it encompasses a broader spectrum of possibilities, including spirits of various gender, species, or even non-physical entities. The drum is the main instrument. Permission to own the drum is sanctioned by the higher deity itself. The ceremony of making drum and its resuscitation usually lasts several days and takes place with the presence of large crowd of people. And the anthropomorphic holder of the drum symbolizes the chief spirit. The second patronizing spirits are usually represented in the form of the animal from whose skin the drum is made. And the remaining assistant spirits are depicted on the drum in the form of drawing. And in general, drum is seen as a vehicle, the main vehicle of the shaman during rituals. Also, in the drum dwells probably the most important entity, which is responsible for the state of the shamanic trance. Indigenous people of Chukotka and Kamchatka use fly agaric mushroom as a substance to induce trance and visions. The fly agaric mushroom contains psychoactive alkaloids. These compounds, when ingested, can include, apart from hallucinogenic effect, various reactions, such as poisoning, if consumed in excessive amounts. So in order to avoid the potential dangers of consuming the poisonous fly agaric mushroom, neophytes, the young shamans, the participants of the ceremony, may resort to a unique practice of drinking the urine of the elder shaman, who, having developed a tolerance and understanding of the mushroom's effect, is believed to possess the ability to metabolize the toxins. So let me reflect some words on the modernity. And let's turn to quantum mechanics, the branch of physics that deals with the behavior of matter and energy at the smallest scales. Some scientists argue that the complexity of consciousness cannot be fully explained by classic physics, and only the quantum mechanics may provide a more comprehensive framework. So they propose that consciousness arises from quantum processes. And proponents of this theory include notable figures such as Roger Penrose. Scientists are exploring various avenues, including the study of quantum coherence in biological systems and the investigations of potential quantum effects in neural processes. Quantum mechanics and shamanism share intriguing similarities in their exploration of fundamental nature of reality, their interconnectedness of all things, and the role of consciousness in shaping our experiences. By examining concepts such as entanglement, non-locality, and the observer's effect in quantum mechanics, we can discern parallels with shamanic practice such as journeying, spirit communication, and others. So let me concentrate on the observer effect and the consciousness. In quantum physics, the observer effect refers to the phenomenon where the act of observation influences the behavior of the particle. This suggests that consciousness plays a fundamental role in shaping reality. Similarly, shamanism emphasizes the power of consciousness and the ability of spiritual practitioners to interact with the physical world through their intentions and beliefs. There is another paradox, which is called non-locality. Quantum physics introduces the concept of non-locality, where particles can instantaneously communicate with each other, regardless of distance between them. This parallels the shamanic belief in the ability to communicate with spirits and entities, transcending the limitation of physical space and time. While shamanism has not taken an institutionalized form in the Siberian oikumene, the Japanese Shinto, for instance, can be seen as an example of institutionalized form of shamanism. The typology of main cults within Shinto exhibits strong connection with Siberian shamanism. The emphasis on ancestor worship, spirit communication, nature worship, sacred sites, and ritual in both Shinto and Siberian shamanism demonstrate the common origin, which I already stated regarding the origin of the Altayan languages. So let me finish my short introduction into Siberian shamanism by saying that this tradition is still alive. It's there to explore. And as I mentioned, the shamanic illness, which is the main cause of becoming a shaman in Siberia, is still a main occurrence within the traditional tribal societies that still exist, particularly in the region of the Arctic and subarctic Siberian substrates. So I guess coming to this point, I can conclude my short presentation and finish it with another melodic introduction.
Thank you.